What is going on, everyone? My name's Andy and welcome to another FPL video. Today we're talking Game Week 10 preview. Yes, we're already into the double figures of the season. The season's flying by. We've just gone past Game Week 9, of course. Not great for a lot of us, including myself. I'll come on to that in a minute in the review. And then I'll go into the preview, take you through my transfers, captaincy, and general thoughts on the talking points that you guys have suggested over on Twitter or YouTube. And then hopefully, if I can't get to all of them in this video, I'll create a second video, community Q&A style. We'll go through anything that's kind of not necessarily relevant to my team, but other things that I've just missed in this video. So to make sure this doesn't take any longer than it needs to, I'll get right into it. So this has been one of my worst weeks for a while. I think it's my first red arrow since I wildcarded. I only got 42 points and I took a 4-point hit in the end. Transfer I did were Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold in, plus Vardy, and out went Kane, Trippier and David Silva for a hit. So that was really painful. David Silva got 2 assists and bonus points. Trippier got the clean sheet. Kane did nothing. Overall, I don't think I lost out by too many points. But still, it was definitely a loss of points, and I knew it was the risk taking out the likes of David Silva before Burnley now looks really stupid, which you could say it was. Salah came in, got points for me, which was nice, but Trent missing out was a nightmare. So I've got the points on the screen there, which I'll go through in the preview, which include him and what to do with him now. Otherwise, Wolves kind of collapsed, didn't do anything there. A lot of us have maybe even considered doubling up on them recently, actually playing both our Wolves defenders. A lot of people have done that already in the last 4 weeks, but it wasn't good enough against Watford. I don't think there's too much to worry about them just yet. I'm not going to lose all hope. But yeah, they've got a couple of tougher fixtures coming up soon. So we might have to rethink our strategy with Wolves there. And basically, Ryan saved me with his 11 points in goal. That's 2 clean sheets and bonus points in a row for him at Brighton. So now, even though I thought it was maybe a slight mistake having him on my wildcard, I'm quite happy to have him now. Otherwise, it was kind of blanks all round. Luckily, Aguero, got a goal for me. So it wasn't a captain blank again, which kind of kept my head above water almost. But I did drop to 18.8k from about 13,000 last week with a really poor game week rank. So Aguero captain was nice. Again, he only played 65 minutes, which is not great. And then Hazard, Richarlison and Maddison all blanked. Maddison and Vardy in particular thought were a bit unlucky not to come away with points against Arsenal. Leicester should have probably had a penalty in the first half, and Maddison played a great ball into Maguire from a free kick, which Maguire will probably put that away 7 or 8 times out of 10. So maybe a little bit unlucky. Maddison looked good, but look, it's one of those game weeks that happens. If it's happened to you, just remember a lot of us are in the same boat. It's a pretty poor score, but I didn't drop hugely. It didn't drop out of the top 20k, so a lot of people around me having a similar problem. So don't panic too much. Let's talk about the preview and how we can rectify this and start getting those green arrows again. So first question on a lot of people's or managers' lips right now is what to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold. It looks like he's potentially lost his place. Like I said, I think I made a mistake possibly with bringing him in for 2 reasons. One, I said that Robertson was a great option and didn't really fund him or make sure I had the funds to do that move. And I knew that Lovren was kind of the first choice last year, and Gomez has done obviously really well. I did put that question out on Twitter, and I got a few replies here and there, and some people thought that he would come back in, some people didn't think he would. And I wasn't too sure, but I didn't really give it enough thought. So Trent looks like he may have lost his place. Gomez has played really well. They're probably defensively more solid with him at right back and then Lovren in the centre back position. And the vote of confidence from Klopp to bring Lovren back for the Man City game. Yes, partly because they probably didn't want to play Trent there. The Man City team would have caused him more problems than possibly Gomez would. I think it was a big vote of confidence from Klopp to play Lovren in that game. So it's really tough to call now because what we need to see is Gomez get benched and Trent to come back into right back and Lovren to play centre back. That would almost tell me that Lovren is nailed on now and Gomez and Trent aren't. So for me, I'm probably going to keep him. I think a few people have pointed out that sometimes you get the Liverpool team news slightly before deadline. There's no early games this week, so the first game's at 3 o'clock, which is when Liverpool are playing. So my plan of action is to try and be on the lookout for the team sheets before 3 o'clock. Or before 2 o'clock when the deadline is. And if they come in, possibly transfer him out to Gomez or Lovren if they both start. Now, if they do both start again, it's still really hard to say whether if Trent does come back, will Gomez then move to centre-back and Lovren drop out? But I don't know, I just got this feeling that it's Lovren's place there now to lose. He's come back in, he was the first choice last year alongside Van Dijk. And he's a bit of a bonus point magnet as well. He's already shown that 3 bonus points out of or 3 bonus points in both the previous games. And a little bit of goal threat maybe from set pieces as well. So for me, I'm looking at doing Alexander-Arnold to Lovren because I don't have the money to do Alexander-Arnold to to Robertson, which is the one I really want to do. I think Robertson is key over these next few fixtures. There's loads of clean sheet potential for Liverpool, and he's got attack and return potential, and he's good for bonus points as well. So he is the one to get. I'd even say possibly the number one defender to go for it, and possibly maybe even ahead of Mendy, but that's debatable. But yeah, Robertson looks like a really good option. So for me, for Trent, I think if you've not got the time to look at the deadline, I'd possibly think of keeping him and just hoping for the best. And you don't want to necessarily transfer him straight in and straight back out again. But I'm possibly just looking at the fact that I'm going to cut my losses, realise I made a mistake, and just roll with it and just get rid of him. So yeah, it does look like he's lost his place. Not much more to say now. We don't know for sure. Have to see what happens in the Champions League and stuff. He's already spoken in a press conference about rotation, how it will probably make him a better player, and it's good for the team to have to fight for places and stuff. So he obviously knows it's a thing. But we'll see what happens in the Champions League. If he plays in that, then I think it's probably likely that he misses the next game in the league. But we'll have to wait and see. Aguero's still getting 65 minutes. Is it a problem? For me, it's not. He's still returning. Yes, we want to see a few more double-figure hauls. Yes, that would be easier if he played 70, 80, 90 minutes. He's not quite getting there. He's been rested in the Champions League tonight. I am recording this while Champions League games are on. It's the only time I've got to do it. So obviously things could change. But he did get benched at the start. So obviously being rested there. So he should be fully fit for Spurs. Probably not too bad whether he only plays 60 or 70 minutes in that game, because not necessarily expecting too much from him. Probably not going to captain him either. But moving forward, I still think he's a good option with the fixtures they got. Southampton at home, West Ham away and Bournemouth at home, all coming in the next four. After that Spurs game, and hopefully if he can get over this injury, he'll start getting more minutes. And obviously he is number one choice. He hasn't missed a game yet. Jesus just doesn't seem that in favour in the league, so I'm definitely keeping him. A few people getting worried about him, but we've seen rotation in midfield with Sterling this week. Potentially the same thing can happen for De Bruyne sooner or later. So I don't know if any of them are much more of a safer option than Aguero. So for me, he's done well enough and he stays. Is Salah essential? So I'm going to say he's not essential just because of his price tag and how well you can spread that money around and probably get an overall better team. But for me, with kind of Cardiff and Fulham in the next three fixtures, I want him as captain in those two games. He looked better against Huddersfield. Just remember that Liverpool still didn't have the likes of Mane and Firmino in their starting 11. Firmino did come on and look pretty rusty, to be fair. But I think he'd probably be better if he started from kind of 0 minutes instead of coming on at 70, 80 minutes. But yeah, so I don't think he's essential, but I think he is the standout captain option in this game week and game week 12. Cardiff and Fulham showed when they played each other, even they can score goals against each other. 4-2 that finish. So they're going to give up a lot of chances. They've conceded a lot of goals already between them. And like I said, I just think Salah was said to be kind of out of form. Well, he played 3 top 6 teams in 4. He's got an easier match against Huddersfield, and he scores straight away. So who knows what he can do in home games obviously at Anfield against the likes of Cardiff and Fulham. I think there's big scores there. If he's not going to get a big score, then fair enough. But if he is going to, it's going to be in these two matches. So I'm going to be on there. Is he essential? No. Is he a very, very good option? I think so, yeah. Arnautovic or Vardy. So I kind of spoke on stream. I think I maybe made a mistake with Vardy not because he's a bad option, but because he wraps up a lot of money and it's not letting me put it into defence. So it really depends on your budget. If you can afford your kind of 2 or 3 premium defenders and you can afford Vardy, and then I still think he's the better option. There was some kind of thing on Twitter today where his wife is liking tweets against Puel, basically tweets that say that Puel is not using Vardy right and maybe they've fallen out and things like that. But I don't know how much to pay attention to that. Obviously, very annoying that he went off against Arsenal, seemingly ill, probably running for the toilet. Hopefully he'll get over that by this weekend. Obviously we'll find out in the press conferences. But if you look at their fixtures, Leicester, West Ham away, Cardiff away, Burnley at home, Brighton away and Watford home. So a few away games in there, but all against against teams that are winnable. So I like Vardy right now. Obviously, Arnautovic, on the other hand, has Leicester away, obviously the reverse fixture, then Burnley at home, Huddersfield away, Man City at home and Newcastle away. So again, 3 away fixtures in the next 5, but again, winnable games. So for me, if I could go back again now, I'd potentially look to play Arnautovic instead of Vardy and have that money to pile it into my defence. So really depends on what your kind of team is looking like and how you're spreading the funds and stuff. But I really do like Vardy, and I still think he'll be a good option. I'm not knee-jerking just yet. But if I could go back again, I'd probably choose Arnautovic just because of the money saving, so I can pump that elsewhere. Is Alonso too expensive? Look, I think the question has got to be asked over Alonso right now. He scored 2.6 points, 2, 6 and 2 Attacking returns have dried up. I think I've said this many times. He was lucky to have all those chances or the assists from the amount of chances he created early on in the season. That hasn't happened now. Of course, variance can happen. He can do really well, do really badly, then start doing well again. The fixtures do get a bit better now. Burnley away, Palace at home, Everton at home in the next 3. Spurs away, not so good, but then that really nice fixture against Fulham. So arguably, looking at the team stats and kind of XG conceded and stuff like that, expected goals conceded, Chelsea possibly should have conceded a few more than they have over the last few weeks, so maybe even less clean sheets. But for his price, sure, you could say he's a midfielder, he's going to get clean sheets and the potential for attacking returns. Well, those attacking returns are dried up. They've only kept 2 clean sheets in the last 5 games. The question is, can they get those clean sheets and attacking returns in the next 3? I think the fixtures are there for sure. But Robertson, like I said, I think he's the key man right now. And Mendy is barely blanking at all when he plays. And he looks like he's won his spot back. Now, Man City's fixtures are a bit, not tricky, but they're kind of every other game for the next 3. It's like Spurs away, then it's Southampton at home, which is good. Then it's Man United at home. You know, arguably right now you could say that's a good fixture. But that'll be a tough one. That'll be tight. And I don't think anyone would be too surprised if both teams score in that. Then West Ham away and Bournemouth home. So I think overall Man City's fixtures are pretty good, but you're probably, if you're anything like me, not looking at bringing Mendy in against Spurs away. So you can probably keep Alonso right now. So I think it goes back to the previous point about premium defenders. If you've got enough to have all 3 of those defenders, Robertson, Mendy and Alonso, you're absolutely laughing. If you're like me and you've only got space for 2, I'd probably be looking, just because of the money I've got, probably be looking at Robertson and Mendy instead of Alonso right now. Alonso's one of those players that you're never in a rush to get rid of, and I don't think you should be now because of the fixture swings for them. It does get a little bit better. But you've got to ask yourself that question, is he as attacking? Now, he did get into the box a few times against Man United, but he just doesn't look, and even stats-wise, he's getting forward as much, or at least getting in the box, getting those shots off and creating those chances. So for me, you got to talk about getting rid of him right now. If you need to free up a spot for maybe Mendy or Robertson. Otherwise, if you've got enough money to spread it all around, then I think you can keep him for now. Maddison or Richarlison, I'm really surprised this question is still being asked. It's being asked like the last few weeks, especially on streams as well. Obviously, people not got them. They may be thinking of selling one. For me, I think not necessarily the clear answer, but the answer is Maddison because of the fixtures. So again, you look at Leicester's fixtures, like I said, for Vardy, West Ham, Cardiff, Burnley, Brighton and Watford in the next 5. Now, Everton, they've got a really weird thing where they have a really nice home fixture, then a really bad away one. So it's Man United away, bad, Brighton at home, good, then Chelsea away, which is not great, Cardiff at home, which is brilliant, Liverpool away, which is super tough, and obviously a derby as well, so we don't know what will happen in that one, and then Newcastle at home, which you think would be a good game. So you're kind of expecting returns every other game with him. Doesn't mean he can definitely not score in those hard away games, but it's obviously going to be trickier. And he's playing up front, doesn't seem to be doing as well up front. I think a lot of the time we jump on out of position players like him, but they don't actually ever perform as well as we think they will. And I think he's probably got a bit more freedom on the left, can affect the game a bit more. So if I had to choose between the 2, especially after watching Maddison against Arsenal, he's on set pieces, really involved, driving forward, playing the number 10 position. I'd have to choose Maddison if I had to choose one from those 2, but I'm really happy with having both right now. So I'm not looking at getting rid of Maddison for sure for me. And then what to do with Trippier? I think similar position to kind of last year. I don't know if there's a rush to get rid of him. You know, we keep talking about rotation. He started the last 8 Premier League games, and if Aurier gets the nod in the Champions League, then you'd almost think that he's going to start the next one as well. Now it's Man City at home, then Wolves away, Palace away, Chelsea at home. So not the greatest fixtures. 2 tough home games, packed against 2 maybe tough away games. Palace and Wolves can be tight when they want to. So obviously you're hoping for attacking returns for him. He's taken a few set pieces off Eriksen, etc., but also defensive returns. I don't know how many defensive returns they're going to get in the next 5. Even after those 4, it's Arsenal away. So for me, Trippier can go. Like I've said, Mendy, even Alonso probably, and Robertson, much better options, I think, for the price. One of those players you're probably not in a rush to get rid of. I think it's luxury if you've got the transfer to make the move for one of them. Brilliant. If you've got bigger fish to fry, for want of a better word or phrase, then do that. But Trippier can go, I think. I don't think he necessarily has to be kept, even though he's done really well. So it is harsh. I think he's got like 3 or 4 returns in the last 4 games. So he's been doing really well. I just think there's better options right now with the way the fixtures are going. Obviously, Trippier had really nice fixtures. Now, not so much. And then captaincy, surprise, it's Salah for me. I think he's the standout this week. The Spurs play Man City, so you're not really wanting to captain anyone from those games. Arsenal, if you've got the likes of Lacazette, potentially Palace away. And I think this is why I don't think Salah's necessarily essential. Remember when we all wanted Kane captain against Cardiff at home. Well, that's who Salah's got. And Hazard had a not tricky away game. He had not maybe the best away game, Southampton away. Now he's got Burnley away and they're conceding loads of shots. He could punish people again for captaining someone against Cardiff at home. But I just think Salah's got a better chance of scoring points than Kane had. Better form, Liverpool, better team. So for me, Salah is the standout. But honestly, I think if you've got Hazard, then you shouldn't be worrying too much about Salah. It's going to be a tough watch, for sure, and the closer it gets to Friday and Saturday this week before the deadline, it's going to be really tough to not have Salah in your team. But for me, he's going to be my captain, but I don't think he's essential, and I think Hazard could do the business again this week. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have got any comments, any questions that I missed and stuff like that, leave a comment below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. It'd be much appreciated. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. That let you know when the next video is going live. Hopefully there'll be a community Q&A not too far away. And obviously let you know when I'm live streaming as well, which will be 9:30 PM this Thursday. Otherwise, I'll leave it there. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers all.